Hey everyone, we're live. How's it going?
Hey, hi there. This is NIN's Talkin Shop. I'm Nick Armstrong, and this is Bill Binder.
How's it going?
And we're trying to do this show every second Thursday of the month. So if you ever have any questions, you can go to our group page or email us at nick@nationalimprovnetwork.com, Facebook us, whatever you need to do. Um, we have some exciting news. E-Improv, which we partnered with last month, is now you are able to catch live shows on the front of
Hey
our.
everyone, we're live. How's it going?
Hey, hi there. This is Nin's Talking Shop.
No, that was odd. But yeah, but yeah,
Little
we're right on the
technical
front page now.
difficulties. Hang
We're trying
on.
to do this show every second Thursday
You
of the
there?
month. So if you ever have any questions,
Bill.
are you what? Do you have the webpage open right now,
It
Nick?
was open, yeah, because I always have the National Improv Network open. So
So they're proof positive that
I kind of
everything's going
scared myself there.
with a couple second delay.
Yeah.
That's not just our show. Any e-improv show is going to be up there. If it's live, you see it live. If you missed it, then you can still watch it, in replay. And the geography will be changing a little bit of how it's laid out, and we hope to have more interactive features so people can participate during anybody's shows. But baby steps. Right now, we got it on the front page, so it should be fun.
And the National Improv Network is a website. It's a free resource for any improviser to come on. And we also have some great festivals that you can instantly submit to. So far, we've got a plethora of them. Two of our newest ones, I would say, is the Improvaganza. Is that from Hawaii?
Yeah, that's a
Uh,
fantastic festival. I've been there 5 times.
in Stumptown Improv Festival from
Mhm.
Portland, Oregon. And our first international festival to use our instant submission tool, the Ireland Improv Fest.
Yeah, and we'll be talking a little bit about that during the show.
Yeah.
Also, I'll give a shout out to our sister festival, the Detroit Improv Festival. Old friends of ours. They have submissions going open right now, and let's see, Coachella, Colorado, a few other folks too. So there's a lot of some festivals going on right now.
So check it out. I mean, it's such a great thing to go to festivals and learn from a lot of different teachers and instructors. And then that's kind of what we're going to talk about a little bit more today because we're celebrating the year of the teacher.
Mhm.
The National Improv Network is, and everything this year is dedicated to that. A lot of the stuff we do with our website and things going forward, and you'll be seeing some of that stuff rolling out. But Bill, I wanted to first bring up a topic that I read on some of the Facebook group pages, especially in Ireland, um, and it's the differences between how we label things and like in the United States, a coach, a director is different than what it may be called overseas
Yeah.
in Europe or stuff. And I just kind of, I didn't get to see exactly what the differences are. They just referred to one of my blogs on NIN, and I think I celebrate that and
Hmm.
totally is what I wrote on it. I said, you know what? Every city is different.
Hmm.
Every country is different. It has different needs, and they're responsible for evolving improv in the way that they want to. That's what's so great and unique about our community is there's no set way to do it. It's like improv. It's malleable and it shifts and it evolves with, you know, whoever's doing it in whatever city or country.
Yeah, just look at whenever you visit another city, just doing warm ups. Like it's like, oh, the entirely different vocabulary.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's great to build up a common vocabulary on some jargon and stuff like that, so we can communicate. But it's great that each place develops on its own for sure. And obviously, we mentioned the Improv Ireland Fest is online. That's a first for us. We're trying it out. But
Hmm.
yeah, there is a lot of needs that are different over in Europe than there are in North America. And, they've grown up and they've developed their own stuff that, a lot of
And
the things that we take for granted over here wouldn't necessarily apply over there. So it's a learning process for sure.
it is, and there's a lot of differences. We find out. I see questions on these Facebook blogs, which I love. I love seeing these conversations happen because they never could happen together throughout the world before. When we first started out,
Hmm.
even 5, 6 years ago, this wouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
And I saw a question like, why does festivals charge money in the United States, and they didn't understand that it costs us a lot of money to run festivals, where in their country they're funded by their government
Right.
to do things like that. And it's really interested to be like, to get that communication and know that stuff. So it's interesting to see all this come out.
Yeah, or and with that specific example, we talked about North America and Europe, but the way that performances work in the Middle East is totally different because art has to be approved by the state. So
Yeah.
improv is a very tenuous relationship with governments, and some of the countries I know that like Impro Beirut out in Pakistan, they are an amazing troupe, but they face hurdles that are totally different than the
Yeah,
kind of hurdles we face over here for sure.
exactly. And Bill, since we were talking about, I know you wrote a blog about this, so I
Mhm.
wanted to have you touch base on it. Is you wrote a great blog about for the United States, anyways, kind of the difference between a coach and a director.
Mhm.
Why don't you go into that a little bit?
Yeah, and I talked coaches, directors, and teachers definitely in that all of them. There's a lot of overlap in those skills, but
Mhm.
I think one of the differences between coaching and teaching that's important to keep in mind is that when you're teaching, you're coming in with expertise with your game plan in check, and these people are coming to you saying whatever it is that's your vision, tell us it. It's our job to take parts of that and work it into our personal growth when we leave this place. But yeah, ultimately, teaching is them coming to hear what you have to say. And I think a lot of teachers go into coaching with that mindset, and it's not as productive because
Yeah.
coaches really need to listen to what the groups or the students or the performers needs are. They're the ones who are in the control there, and they're asking you as a coach to help them achieve their goals and keep your vision out of it as much as possible, I think.
I think there's an arc. Like I have the experience of being a coach and a director and a teacher.
Yeah.
I think there's three different things, and when I direct a team, I have a vision for them. Like I direct a JTS Brown team called the Witching Hour right now,
Oh,
and
awesome.
I have a vision for them. They don't know how to do it. I show them. I'm directing them into it. I'm directing them into an improv show. I have the vision for them. When I'm coaching, it's usually I'm approached to coach a team, and they might have an improv Bible or something. This is what we're looking to do, and then I coach them to their vision. And then and sometimes as a director, I'm directing them in the beginning, but then I transition into coach after once I have the visions in place, and then it becomes a different relationship after that too. So there's been a
Absolutely.
whole bunch of different
Hmm.
things that I've gone through.
There's wisdom in knowing which is in communicating that. I think when you start working in a group, having that communication right up front. If you're
Yeah.
coming to teach, the first day is to say what it is, and if it's there to coach, to listen. But one thing I think you mentioned that a lot of troops have, their sort of Bible, which is true, but a lot of groups, especially younger groups, don't.
Yes, that's
And
true.
part of the coach is not then to. I've seen coaches in that position switch into teacher mode and say, "Oh, well, here's what I think you should be." But I think a good coach says, "Okay, you don't know what you are. Let's help you guys figure out what you want to be. My skills are just in recognizing the things you're saying, the patterns, and getting you communicating till at the end of this day, you go, oh yeah, I guess that is what we all collectively want. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, it's an interesting thing in the LA scene. Like right now, it's so big, and it's like I'm happy it's so big, but at the same time, I'm sad because it's so big. you know,
Mhm.
uh, as a coach, sometimes it's difficult to sustain rehearsal time all the time consistently because your players are on two, three, four, five different teams.
No, yeah, I definitely hear you, and that's one advantage we have in Phoenix specifically, in that it's so close to LA that anyone can drive there. But a lot of other cities, they definitely have an advantage that you have the smaller group that is definitely invested all the time. Everyone knows what's going on, and it can definitely grow in a good way that way for sure.
Here's a topic I want to throw out because I've been, seeing this in LA and interested to hear your
Mhm.
perspective on things is, it's the professionalism of leaving a team or
Oh,
how you deal with that if you're on a team and you want to tell your coach or that like I've had experience in the past where I just got an email said later, or like I I had a someone just tell another teammate that they were leaving, and then that teammate had to tell everybody for them, which I thought was pretty unprofessional.
yeah.
Um, and my thing, and call me old fashioned, is an email's fine, I would say, as long as you maybe email, me and tell me why. That's great, and that's fine. But I like in person too, or to tell the whole team I've enjoyed playing with you, things like that. Maybe you communicate to the coach first, and then the team. Maybe the team's not necessarily you don't have to do that, but I'm all about a person coming up to me personally and being like, hey, I'm doing something else. I don't have the time to commit to this, things like that.
I think it
What,
goes.
what?
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I think it goes the other way too, in that there are times, and this is something else that I saw some discussions on this last couple of weeks, when a group, even if they love the member, they feel the need to grow without that member, and that needs to be approached in the same way, with the same tact and love, and going to the coach and talking about it, as opposed to just being like, bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think either way, when there's a separation like that, it is very much like an intimate, emotional, or sexual relationship, being in a group, including,
Whoa, Bill.
well, it's true. You when you're discovering who you are as an improviser, and you're just sort of quote unquote dating all the time, you're coming in and out of stuff, but you start getting emotionally invested in these groups, and it can be hard. So you want to treat that the way you would any kind of
Yeah.
breakup, with respect and stuff like that.
And I
Respect
think
and stuff like that.
I think the bottom line is that any improviser or any coach, especially a coach leaving a team,
Hmm.
and I think it's just always be upfront from the beginning what your expectations are. You know, I expect as a coach or a director for you all, like for my JTS team, they're great, and but for a JTS Brown, I can't have 7 out of the 8 people come. I have to have 8 people there because it's such a crazy ensemble piece that one person missing, you can't do it.
Yeah.
And, I'm clear about that up front with them. I said, this is what I expect, and this is what we're going to do. If I don't get that, we don't rehearse. And they understand that. If you go, you don't say that beforehand, and then it could swell into this thing like underbelly of like, I'm getting angry at it, and it can lead to a lot of things. But if you're upfront with it and the expectations are there, then it's a lot easier to communicate that going along.
And I think we've talked a lot about the relationship between performers and coaches in that respect, but I
Mhm.
think the same is true with the relationship between troops and theaters, because a lot of times a troupe will maybe, get a run or have an established thing with their theater for a long time. And then, over the course of a year, they lose a lot of members, bring in a lot of new members, and they still might be a really good team.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with the theater, stepping up and saying, hey, let's reevaluate what our relationship is, how we're booking you, and what is your coaching, and that sort of thing.
And I always think as a coach, again, be upfront. Like I love Bob Dassey's philosophy on things when he used to coach
Hmm.
back. He'd be like, "Look, I'm going to do maybe 6 months, up to 6 months. I'll do, and then if I have more to teach you after that, I'll do it. But if not, that's when I'll take my leave." But he committed
Hmm.
to a certain amount of time and said, "This is what
I
I
think a
can
lot
do."
of coaches do
And
that.
I like that because sometimes I've been on teams myself where I've had a coach for over a year, and they just are doing the same thing over and over. You're not learning anything, but they're just hanging on. I don't
Hmm.
know if it's because of they want the money or the gig, but like there's a point where if I don't have anything more to teach that specific team, I'll go.
And
And
I,
usually for
mhm.
me, it depends on the team, obviously, but it's usually like around a year. It could be more. I mean, I've taught teams for 2 years or more, and that's different. It just depends on the team. But like, I feel there is a certain length that a coach can teach a team, and that's just in my experience. So, what about yours, Bill?
It varies from team to team, but I think I always break it up into small chunks. And I know I've talked about this before on this video, but I'll be brief. But just at the beginning, this many months, then we'll revisit if we want to continue. And there is definitely a long-term end goal to that, but have those short terms every few months. That if either the troop or the coach decides to step away, there's no awkward waiting for that conversation. You just check in at the time and decide to go or not.
I guess it is a case by case basis, and but my thing is, as a coach, if you feel you're not so passionate about it, or that team specifically, or things like that, it's time to go.
John Stewart put it best, even though it was in a different context, but he said, this show doesn't deserve to have a host that is even the slightest bit restless.
Yeah.
And I think that's good advice. If you feel the slightest bit restless as a troop or as a coach, just be honest about that. Doesn't mean you have to leave that second, but go, let's wrap up whatever we're working on and then look at moving on to something different, maybe in the next 3-6 weeks, whatever it is.
Yeah. Bill, do you have anything else we could chat about today?
Quick topic that I would actually just invite other people's feedback on is that something from our festival. I would love to hear how other festivals are responding to this thing I've heard lately. We've brought in a lot of great teachers in the past, big teachers, and we will again. But this year we decided that there's so many teachers this year out there on the network and other places that don't necessarily get the opportunity to teach because, they go to a workshop and, TJ, Dave, Jill, Bernard, and Dave Rosowski are teaching already. So, we decided to have sort of like the, what do they call them in Austin, the short plates. We're having a lot of smaller workshops with lesser known instructors to give them a chance to get their name out there and see what it's like. So we're going to see how that goes, but I'd love to hear other festivals' thoughts on how they're getting opportunities to teachers who are newer.
I think that's interesting, and I think Camp Improv Utopia's East, we might be implementing something like that too. We're trying to get a training ground for teachers and coaches now too.
Yeah.
I think that's important. I mean, that's the first time you told me that, so I think that's great.
Yeah, and we're gonna see how it goes. But I'd love to, like, some of these people I know, and some of them I don't, at least not know well. I've met them, but I'd love to give them a chance to teach a workshop, and they're shorter and they cost less, and that way people can take 3, 4, 5 workshops during the day. 5 would probably be pushing it, but.
Well, and I'd love to hear how it goes after you're done. Maybe our next NIN Talkin Shop, you could tell us how it went and the response from it.
Well, I'll be taking a big nap after festival, and I'll be
of course. And then I'll be busy because camp's next month. But
let us know what you want us to talk about, and also if there's teachers you'd like to have chime in on this and give thoughts. No guarantees we can get them to talk, but.
We will be getting guests to come on soon. Hopefully next month we'll have our first guest teacher or someone from the improv world we can get on. Maybe not even the improv world. We've been looking to branch out to the business world and things like that to help in marketing and anything from that to really whatever, just to be a resource for improvisers, as is our mission at the National Improv Network.
So that sounds good. We're open to, this is new technologically and content-wise, so we're open to feedback. And please let us know how this new window in the web page that you're looking at works and what we can do to improve it, because that's something else we're playing with, and we love the e-improv folks. We're working with them to do all sorts of cool new things in the months and years to come. So
this will be a shorter show for us, but we wanted to again, thanks partners e-improv for letting us do the show, and welcome to the National Improv Network family. And we want to thank anybody and everybody who is watching or who will watch.
We currently have 1 viewer at this exact moment. It's gone up, but whoever our 1 viewer is right now,
we love you.
We love you.
But you can reach Bill and I at Nick or Bill at nationalimprovnetwork.com. That's separate emails, or our Facebook group page at the nationalimprovnetwork.com. or and any topics or things that you want to hear, we can get on. And also, we'll be seeing more blogs coming out.
Sounds good.
All right.
See everyone later.
All right. Thank you very much. And this has been NIN's Talkin Shop. I'm Nick Armstrong.
I'm Bill Binder.
And thank you very much, that one person watching us right now. We love you. And for the people that are going to watch the recording, we love you too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.